Alright, my dear friends, gather around, because what I'm about to unveil might just change the way you perceive the world of gifts forever. Imagine if a seemingly innocent present, offered with a smile, could actually be a Trojan horse, sneaking misfortune into your life, shattering your prosperity, and poisoning your relationships. Sounds like a fable, doesn't it? But in the profound wisdom of Buddhist teachings, this is a very real possibility. Certain gifts, believe it or not, are like magnets for negative energy, capable of disrupting the delicate balance of your happiness and well-being. Today, we will delve deep into this ancient knowledge and expose 8 types of gifts that you should absolutely refuse, and the astonishing reasons why they act as beacons for bad luck. Stay with me, because the final item on this list is the most treacherous of them all, and chances are, you've already welcomed it into your life without a second thought, oblivious to the potential cost. Let's embark on this enlightening journey together, shall we? And before we proceed, if you are new to our Sangha, please, give this video a thumbs up, join our growing community by subscribing, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Number 8 on our list, sharp objects, such as knives, scissors, or blades. Offering sharp objects as presents might seem practical and well-intentioned at first glance. However, these items carry a symbolic weight that can trigger unforeseen negative consequences. In numerous cultures and spiritual traditions, including the rich tapestry of Buddhist philosophy, sharp objects are seen as potent symbols of division and disharmony. When you accept such a gift, it is said to symbolically sever the very connection you share with the giver. This energetic rift can manifest in various forms, from minor disagreements to serious conflicts that can fracture even the strongest bonds. Although the intention behind the gift may be genuinely kind, the act of presenting something so inherently sharp can unintentionally introduce friction into your relationships, eroding the harmony you once cherished with that person. From a Buddhist perspective, our relationships are integral threads in the interconnected web of existence. Each connection pulsates with an energetic exchange, and sharp objects abruptly interrupt this vital flow. They embody a cutting force, not only in the physical realm but also on an energetic level, and these ripples of disruption can spread throughout your life. Even if you are not inclined to believe in spiritual symbolism, you might have noticed a curious pattern, disagreements or tensions arising soon after receiving such a gift. While it may appear to be mere coincidence, these energetic imbalances are often subtle and easily overlooked. Many ancient traditions propose a simple yet effective way to neutralize the energy of sharp gifts, by immediately giving the giver a small coin in return. This small exchange transforms the act into a symbolic purchase, thereby sidestepping the potential negative implications of a gift. But sharp objects aren't just symbolic of relationship troubles, they can also slice into other vital areas of your life, such as your financial stability or your spiritual progress. The sharp energy embodied by these gifts can create an invisible barrier, hindering your ability to maintain equilibrium and balance. For instance, you might suddenly face unexpected expenses, workplace conflicts, or even a pervasive feeling of unease within your own home. It's not that the object itself is inherently malevolent, but the energy it represents can become disruptive if left unaddressed. Therefore, it is of paramount importance to be mindful of the items you allow into your personal space and their potential impact on your mental and spiritual serenity. So, if sharp objects can symbolize discord, what about gifts that represent emptiness? Now I'm going to tell you the gist. As we proceed to number 7, empty wallets or purses, you will understand why even the kindest gesture can introduce the energy of lack into your life, impeding your path to prosperity and success. 7. Empty wallets or purses. A wallet or purse is frequently considered a thoughtful present, symbolizing good fortune and future financial prosperity. However, when gifted empty, it takes on a completely different energetic signature. In numerous traditions, especially those influenced by Buddhist wisdom, an empty wallet or purse represents lack, scarcity, and financial hardship. This symbolism is deeply rooted in the principle that energy flows in the direction of intention. By giving or receiving an empty wallet, the intention of abundance is absent, creating a void that can manifest as stagnation or difficulty in the recipient's financial life. The act of gifting an empty wallet may seem harmless, but it subtly programs the subconscious mind to associate finances with a feeling of emptiness. A wallet is more than just a mere accessory, it is a vessel, a container for wealth. When it is presented empty, it sets a precedent, an expectation of future scarcity. This deeply held belief is the reason why many people make it a practice to include a small token, such as a coin or a banknote, inside the wallet before gifting it. This simple practice ensures that the energy of prosperity is present from the outset, allowing the recipient to associate the gift with abundance rather than lack. Such seemingly small yet deeply meaningful gestures are part of the broader spiritual principle of cultivating balance and harmony in all facets of life. The adverse effects of receiving an empty wallet are often not immediately apparent but tend to unfold gradually over time. You might find yourself struggling to attract new opportunities or experiencing a persistent feeling that your financial progress is somehow blocked. While it is easy to dismiss these occurrences as mere coincidence, spiritual teachings emphasize that the objects we surround ourselves with and their inherent symbolism can have a profound impact on our lives. An empty wallet, although seemingly insignificant, can carry the energetic weight of limitation, which in turn influences your mindset and your subsequent decisions. To counteract this potentially negative influence, it is essential to either politely decline such gifts or, if you do receive one, immediately fill it with money upon receiving it, effectively resetting its energetic intention. As we have observed, even well-intentioned gifts can carry unintended energies that disrupt the smooth flow of abundance. But that's not all. But what transpires when a gift carries not just symbolic energy, but someone else's personal energy, their history, or even their past struggles? In the upcoming section, we will delve into number 6, used clothing, and explore how accepting such items might inadvertently burden you with the unseen weight of their past experiences. 6. Used clothing. While receiving clothing as a gift can be a thoughtful and practical gesture, receiving used or second-hand clothing is viewed with considerable caution in many cultures, particularly within the framework of Buddhist teachings. Clothing is not merely a practical necessity, it is also an extension of one's personal identity and energetic field. When you receive used clothing, it is believed to carry the residual energy, emotions, and lived experiences of the previous owner. Whether it's a hand-me-down from a family member or an item discovered in a second-hand store, the energy embedded within the fabric can unconsciously transfer to the new wearer, subtly influencing their personal energy and spiritual equilibrium. This is especially pertinent if the previous owner experienced significant emotional turmoil or financial hardships, as these energies may linger within the clothing, creating an invisible burden for the new wearer. From a Buddhist perspective, it is paramount to maintain clarity and purity in both body and mind. Used clothing, being a reflection of someone else's past, could potentially interfere with this purity by carrying unresolved emotions or negative energetic imprints. Even if the previous owner has long since moved on from their struggles, the item itself may still retain echoes of these energies. This is why many spiritual traditions offer a word of caution against accepting used clothing, as it can potentially disrupt one's personal energetic field. Moreover, clothing is not just a functional item, it possesses symbolic value, representing your relationship with yourself and your interaction with the world. Wearing someone else's clothing can, therefore, blur the boundaries between your own personal identity and the energetic imprint of the previous owner, potentially creating a sense of imbalance or confusion. Another crucial aspect to consider is the emotional connection intertwined with used clothing. If the clothing was once worn by someone who has passed away, experienced a personal tragedy, or endured a period of significant hardship, this energy can remain attached to the fabric. Accepting such clothing could inadvertently invite similar experiences or emotional states into your own life, whether consciously or unconsciously. The subconscious mind is remarkably receptive to energy and symbolism, and something as seemingly simple as a sweater or a pair of shoes can unknowingly draw these energies into your personal space. In Buddhist teachings, it is essential to be mindful of what we permit into our environment, as everything around us exerts an influence on our mental and emotional well-being. However, it's important to note that not all used clothing is inherently negative, and it is crucial to assess the context with discernment. Sometimes, second-hand clothing can carry positive energy, especially if it was given with love and positive intentions, or if it has been properly cleansed or blessed. But as a general guideline, it is wise to exercise caution with used items, particularly when they originate from someone you don't know well, or when you experience an inexplicable feeling of unease about the item. By thoughtfully declining such gifts, you are essentially safeguarding yourself from inadvertently carrying the emotional and spiritual baggage of others. This principle extends to other items imbued with personal histories. So, what about gifts that carry an even deeper spiritual weight, bearing the imprint of someone's intentions or past actions? Let's proceed to number 5, religious or spiritual artifacts, and delve into understanding why accepting them might affect your own spiritual path. 5. Religious or spiritual artifacts. Receiving religious or spiritual artifacts as gifts can appear to be a profoundly meaningful and thoughtful gesture, particularly if the giver is well-meaning and shares your own spiritual inclinations. However, such items can carry a substantial amount of spiritual energy and symbolism, which may not always harmonize with your personal beliefs or your current spiritual state. Numerous religions, including Buddhism, emphasize the profound significance of sacred objects. These artifacts are considered to be vessels of powerful, concentrated energy. When you accept a religious or spiritual item without fully comprehending or respecting its intended purpose, you run the risk of inviting confusion, imbalance, or unwelcome energies into your life. From a Buddhist perspective, sacred objects are tools designed to facilitate spiritual development. These can include statues of deities, prayer beads, or specific symbolic representations. They hold deep, layered meanings and are typically employed with great reverence, focused intention, and a thorough understanding of their significance. When someone gifts you such an artifact, the item carries not only its inherent spiritual energy but also the giver's personal spiritual energy, intentions, and belief system. If these do not align with your own spiritual path, it can create internal dissonance or disrupt the flow of your own spiritual journey. For example, if you receive a Buddhist statue from someone who practices a different religious tradition, the energy it carries may clash with your own, potentially causing confusion and hindering your connection to your own faith. Furthermore, certain spiritual artifacts can be intensely personal and intimately connected to an individual's practice. A set of prayer beads, for instance, holds the accumulation of personal prayers, heartfelt intentions, and the spiritual growth journey of its previous owner. Accepting such an item without the necessary understanding of its inherent power and sacredness can potentially lead to spiritual imbalance. It is essential to approach these types of gifts with the utmost respect and reverence, as they are far more than mere decorative objects, they are vessels of potent energy. In certain instances, receiving these items without the appropriate connection or a deep understanding can inadvertently create a sense of spiritual disorientation or unease. This is why it is often advised to politely decline such gifts, or, if you choose to accept them, ensure that you are fully aligned with the energy and the underlying intentions they carry. The crucial takeaway here is that accepting religious or spiritual artifacts is not simply about receiving a present, it is about respecting the energy and the rich traditions they represent. If you are uncertain about the item or its spiritual significance, it is vital to take the time to thoughtfully evaluate whether it resonates with your current spiritual path and whether it might introduce any unwanted energy into your life. Gifts of this nature can have a lasting impact on your spiritual journey, either elevating your practice to new heights or causing unforeseen disturbances. So, if religious artifacts have the potential to disrupt your spiritual path, could other seemingly ordinary or mundane gifts carry a similar energetic weight? Let's move on to number 4, old mirrors, and explore why these reflective objects can carry a surprisingly heavy spiritual burden. 4. Old mirrors. Mirrors have long been regarded as potent tools within various spiritual and cultural practices, often symbolizing reflection, truth, and self-awareness. However, receiving an old or second-hand mirror as a gift is approached with caution in numerous spiritual traditions, including Buddhism. Mirrors possess the unique ability to reflect not only our physical image but also our subtle energy, our innermost thoughts, and our deeply held emotions. When you accept an old mirror, it is believed to carry the energetic imprints of those who have gazed into it before. The reflected echoes of their lived experiences, their habitual thoughts, and even their prevailing emotional states could be inadvertently transferred to you. These unseen energies can become attached to the mirror's surface, transforming it into more than just a simple reflective object. Its accumulated energy can subtly shape your own perception, influencing your mood and overall well-being. Buddhism teaches us that everything in our surroundings is interconnected, and this interconnectedness extends to the items we keep in our personal environment. Mirrors, in particular, are perceived as powerful instruments that hold the potential to influence not only our self-image but also our spiritual trajectory. A mirror within the home is often intentionally used to reflect light, to clear mental clutter, and to cultivate a sense of balance and harmony. However, an old mirror, one imbued with a past, can introduce energy that may not align with your current state of mind or your spiritual growth aspirations. Just as mirrors can reflect the external world around us, they can also act as reflectors of the internal landscape, magnifying your prevailing thoughts and emotions. An old mirror may unknowingly amplify negativity or unresolved issues from the past, potentially making it more challenging to maintain mental clarity and inner peace. The influence of an old mirror is often subtle yet surprisingly powerful. In some cases, it can reflect past trauma or the lingering emotional baggage of those who previously owned it. If the mirror once resided in a space where arguments, profound sadness, or persistent confusion were prevalent, it could be carrying the residual energy of those intense emotions. Accepting such an item as a gift implies that you are unknowingly inviting that accumulated energy into your personal space. It can disrupt your inherent sense of balance and clarity, potentially preventing you from seeing your true self with unobstructed vision. That is why it is often advised to avoid second-hand mirrors altogether, or, if you must accept one, to thoroughly cleanse it spiritually before bringing it into your home. Cleansing rituals, such as using the smoke of sage or washing it with salt water, can be effective in resetting the energy of the mirror, dispelling any lingering negativity and allowing you to utilize it for your own self-reflection and spiritual growth. Furthermore, mirrors are considered sacred objects in many traditions because they offer a glimpse into the true nature of reality, a reflection of what is. In Buddhism, the mirror often symbolizes wisdom and the ability to perceive beyond superficial illusions. When an old mirror is gifted, it may be entangled with certain illusions or misunderstandings that no longer serve your current spiritual path. This is why receiving an old mirror can be perceived as potentially detrimental to your personal and spiritual journey. The energy embedded within the mirror could cloud your perception, making it more difficult to maintain the clarity and focused intention needed to move forward on your path. As we transition away from mirrors that reflect the past, let's explore number 3, clocks and watches, and consider how these timekeeping devices can influence your perception of time itself and your overall life energy. 3. Clocks and watches. Clocks and watches are deeply symbolic of time and the way it relentlessly governs our lives. They serve as constant reminders of the passage of time, the inherent limitations we face, and the fleeting opportunities we must seize. However, when gifted to someone, these timekeeping devices can carry a heavier symbolic burden than just their practical function of measuring time. In numerous cultures, including within the framework of Buddhist teachings, clocks and watches are viewed with a sense of caution and mindful awareness. This is because time is considered a finite resource, and the energy of time itself, when given as a gift, can subtly influence your life's trajectory. It can carry the subtle weight of urgency, underlying stress, or even the pervasive fear of running out of time. If someone gifts you a clock or watch, especially one that is old or antique, the gift may not be solely about measuring time. It could also represent an unconscious attachment to past moments, lingering regrets, or the subtle, underlying pressure to rush through life. The energy of a clock or watch is profoundly linked to your personal relationship with time itself. Buddhism underscores the importance of being fully present in each and every moment and cultivating mindfulness in all aspects of our lives. However, receiving a clock or watch can inadvertently and constantly remind you of deadlines, rigid schedules, and the persistent feeling of always needing to catch up. This can subtly interfere with your ability to remain grounded in the present moment, potentially creating an underlying sense of anxiety and unease. Old clocks, in particular, may carry the energetic imprint of a past owner's relationship with time, whether it was characterized by chronic stress, a constant sense of hurry, or a pervasive lack of satisfaction. These energies can become deeply embedded within the item, subtly influencing your own perception of time and potentially leading to feelings of urgency, impatience, or a sense of being perpetually overwhelmed. Moreover, the act of gifting someone a clock can symbolically signify a desire, whether conscious or unconscious, to influence their future path. Clocks serve as stark reminders that time waits for no one, and in this sense, gifting one can carry the unspoken message of time running out or not having sufficient time. This can unknowingly cause the recipient to become fixated on the concept of time, whether it manifests as a constant awareness of how little time they have or the pressure to achieve certain goals within a rigid timeframe. From a spiritual perspective, this disruption of the natural flow of time acts as a distraction from the present moment, which is the very locus where true peace, clarity, and wisdom reside. Accepting such a gift may subtly pull you away from the practice of mindfulness, making it more challenging to fully appreciate the inherent beauty of the present moment and instead focusing your attention on what has already passed or what is yet to come. If you have ever received a clock or watch and experienced a subtle sense of unease or underlying pressure, it may be attributed to the spiritual energy it carries. It is important to recognize that time itself is considered an illusion in many spiritual teachings, including Buddhism, and that the act of gifting time-related objects can potentially cloud your perception of life's true purpose, which is to be present and awake. To counteract this potential negative influence, it is essential to maintain a mindful approach to the clock or watch and consciously choose not to allow it to become a symbol of limitation, stress, or urgency. Now I'm going to tell you the most important thing. But what transpires when the gift itself is something more mundane, seemingly innocuous, like number 2, broken items? How can accepting something that is already in a state of disrepair affect your personal energy and overall well-being? Let's proceed to explore this next. 2. Broken items. One of the most universally acknowledged items to avoid accepting as a gift is anything that is visibly broken or damaged. In Buddhism and numerous other spiritual traditions, broken objects are considered to be carriers of negative energy, often symbolically representing brokenness, incompleteness, or unresolved issues. Whether it is a cracked vase, a broken lamp, or even a chipped plate, these items are believed to symbolize a disruption in the smooth flow of energy. Accepting broken items as gifts can unknowingly invite negative energies to permeate your life and surroundings. When an item is broken, it is perceived as incomplete, and this energetic signature might subtly transfer this feeling of incompleteness into your own life, potentially leaving you with a persistent sense of dissatisfaction or a lack of wholeness. Broken items are potent symbols of something that is no longer functioning as it was originally intended, whether that is a physical object or an aspect of one's own life. In the same vein, accepting such an item might subtly indicate that something in your own life is out of alignment or is in need of repair and attention. From a spiritual perspective, the very act of accepting broken things can unconsciously send a message to the universe that you are willingly accepting imperfection, dysfunction, and negativity into your sphere of influence. Over time, this subtle energetic pattern can manifest in your own life, where you may experience unexpected breakdowns, frustrating delays, or a persistent feeling as if you are unable to move forward smoothly, much like the broken item that was once unable to perform its intended purpose. Another reason why accepting broken items can be potentially detrimental is that it can inadvertently foster a mindset of scarcity and lack. When we willingly accept broken things, we may subconsciously attract more brokenness into our lives. The underlying principle here is that accepting damaged or incomplete gifts can reflect our own internal acceptance of imperfection or limitation. From the perspective of the law of attraction, broken items can mirror a state of attracting more negativity and challenges into your life. It is vitally important to cultivate an environment where everything around you serves a positive purpose and holds uplifting energy, rather than living amidst items that constantly remind you of what is not whole, what is not functioning properly, or what is in a state of disrepair. So, if broken items are definitely not a good choice for gifts, what about the most common item we hold so dear but perhaps unknowingly shouldn't receive as a gift? Watch to the end and you'll find out the most important thing. Let's now turn our attention to number 1, cash or money, and explore why accepting it as a gift might carry hidden risks. 1. Cash or money. Cash or money is undeniably one of the most frequently given gifts, particularly during festive occasions, holidays, or celebratory events. While it may appear to be an exceptionally practical and generous gesture on the surface, receiving money as a gift can carry with it a surprisingly significant spiritual burden. In Buddhist teachings, money is perceived as more than just a physical medium of exchange. It is also viewed as a potent symbol of the very energy you attract into your life. Accepting money from others, in certain circumstances, can create an imbalance in the delicate energetic exchange between the giver and the receiver. When you receive money as a gift, especially from someone who may be experiencing financial struggles or harboring negative intentions, it can inadvertently carry their energetic imprint along with it, potentially leading to an unintentional exchange of their challenges and financial blockages. Buddhism teaches us that true wealth is not solely about accumulating material possessions, but rather about cultivating an abundant mindset and a balanced, harmonious approach to all aspects of life. When money is given as a gift, it can inadvertently disrupt this delicate balance. The giver may unknowingly carry their own deeply rooted fears, anxieties, or stresses related to money, and these subtle energies can be transferred along with the cash you receive. This energetic transfer can manifest as subtle feelings of insecurity or a sense of lack in your own life, even if you were previously feeling abundant and secure. If the giver has an unhealthy or conflicted relationship with money, whether it is an unhealthy obsession with wealth or chronic stress stemming from financial struggles, those imbalanced energies can subtly enter your life and disrupt your inner peace. This is precisely why many spiritual practices gently discourage accepting money as a gift, as it can potentially carry the energetic vibrations of the giver's overall financial state, whether those vibrations are predominantly positive or negative. From a spiritual perspective, money acts as a reflection of your own deeply held values, your underlying intentions, and your prevailing energy. Accepting money without being consciously mindful of the energetic imprint attached to it can potentially create unwanted attachments or dependencies. Money, when given with pure and benevolent intentions, can indeed be a beautiful gift that supports prosperity and overall well-being. However, when it is given out of a sense of obligation, underlying guilt, or unspoken expectation, it can have a subtly draining energetic effect on the recipient. For this compelling reason, it is important to approach gifts of money with discernment and mindful awareness. If the underlying intentions behind the gift are not genuinely clear, heart-centered, or aligned with your own core values, it is often wiser to politely refuse such gifts in order to maintain your own energetic harmony and inner equilibrium. So, what then is the most beneficial way to both receive and give gifts that carry genuinely positive energy and effectively attract abundance into our lives? Perhaps it is time for us to collectively rethink how we approach all types of gifts, from tangible material items to the more subtle realm of emotional exchanges. To effectively protect your own vital energy and maintain a state of inner balance, it is absolutely essential to be consciously mindful of the gifts you choose to accept into your life. Broken items, old objects with unknown histories, or even money given with questionable intentions can all carry unwanted energies that disrupt your spiritual well-being. Make conscious choices to select gifts that genuinely resonate with your values and actively bring positivity and uplifting energy into your life. If this video has resonated with you and offered valuable insights, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more wisdom, and share your reflections in the comments below. Stay mindful, my dear friends, and consciously attract only the most beneficial and uplifting energy into your precious life.